home run to begin the ball game last night on the third pitch he saw. And he takes a first pitch strike from J.P. Sears. We've already got CJ using his lineup card as a fan.
Yeah, it's a little humid in here.
It's a little hot.
I'm also drinking hot coffee. Probably not a smart decision.
Unless you got to weigh the need to be high energy, but also the need to be cool. That's a tough balance.
Should have went with the iced coffee today.
But for Ronald Acuna Jr., 37th time in his career, he blasted a leadoff home run to start a game. It was in a 1-1 count as Sears fires. And for J.P. Sears, he's been in the A's rotation since August of 2022, and tonight is his 100th career appearance, his 94th career start, and he's coming off a couple of really good outings. He's gotten an 11 2/3 scoreless streak entering play tonight.
He's going to be an interesting guy to watch. Could be a potential trade candidate.
As Ronald Acuna Jr. is down on the sweeper and talking with hitting coach Tim Hires, who is in the American League West. That sweeper is that pitch for J.P. Sears.
It's a good one, and he throws it back door there, catching the outer third of the strike zone against Ronald. This guy's a bulldog. He's not afraid of anybody. He's only 5'11". He's going to go right at you. And again, even though the overall numbers are not great, he could be a guy potentially that teams come calling about.
Now the former A, Matt Olson, climbs in. And Sears drops that sweeper in for a strike. We had two starters for the A's from North Carolina the last 2 days, Jeffrey Springs and Mitch Spence. J.P. Sears from South Carolina.
And he probably should have a little bit of that bulldog mentality when you look at where he went to college, the Citadel, here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Matt already 3 hits in the series. And he sends a high fly ball down the right field line, hooking foul.
It's kind of fun watching baseballs disappear into the trees here.
Let's take a look at our CPI Security Systems defense. A look at the A's. Same outfield as we have seen the last. Lears. 1-2 to Ole. And there's that high breaking ball again. And that's back-to-back strikeouts, a sweeper and a slider.
Yeah, interesting to see it elevated, right? Intentionally, you don't necessarily throw a slider up, but look at the target. I mean, that target is upper third, and that's pretty much where he threw that baseball.
And with that low arm shot, CJ, I assume it's a little tougher for lefties facing him than righties.
100%. And the idea of where he comes in and pitches, especially the fastball, having a little bit of the lower arm angle, playing up really well. Now, OPS is a little bit better for him against the lefties compared to the righties, but the strikeout rate really jumps up. He strikes out lefties at a much higher rate than he does right-handed hitters.
Riley bounces one to the left side. A test for Andujar across the diamond in time. It's a 1-2-3 inning for J.P. Sears. Spencer Strider taking the mound when we come back.
or that ERA just under 4, but you're absolutely right. It is getting better as he goes, including that velocity continues to climb. He averaged a little bit better than 96 miles an hour in his last start.
So the 26-year-old right-hander facing the newly minted 25-year-old Lawrence Butler, celebrating his birthday tonight. It's also his bobblehead night. You can see the 2 home runs he has had in this series came in the first 3 innings of Game 1. It's been quieter since, though. And a ground ball bounced out to Ozzie. And Butler is retired. Let's take a look at the A's starting lineup, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. We mentioned Lawrence Butler at the top. Miguel Andujar in the cleanup spot. Austin Wynns, who's had some success against Spencer Strider, is going to spell Shea Langoliers. But their lone DH in the lineup tonight is Brent Rooker, with Jacob Wilson out with that hand bruise after being hit by a pitch on Tuesday. And the first pitch, Rooker rakes it into left field. Profar giving chase, cuts it off with a slide. And Rooker will slide in with a double.
Brent Rooker is a pretty smart hitter, and I think when you get in a situation where you're facing Spencer Strider, at least early on, you're thinking about 1 of 2 pitches, the fastball or the slider. And if you go up hunting the fastball and you get it early, you go hacking. Rooker did right there, and it was a nice try by Jurickson Profar, but not enough to prevent the double.
Brent Rooker, by the way, he announced today he will compete in the Home Run Derby.
And just as we talked a little bit about yesterday, and also found out that Jazz Chisholm now is going to be participant number 8. So the field is set.
The field is set. You mentioned Chisholm and Rooker. Also got Ronald Acuna Jr., of course, Cal Raleigh, James Wood, Byron Buxton, Junior Caminero, and O'Neal Cruz. I don't know about you, CJ. I feel like Ronald's ready.
He is absolutely ready. Any concerns that we had with him missing that first game quickly got put to rest with the performance that he put on yesterday and feeling good. And I think we're all very excited to see him in the Home Run Derby. More importantly, that he was good to go last night.
And Strider falls behind now 3-0. Rooker jumped him on the first pitch, but he fell behind Butler as well.
A couple of fastballs that have been close. Now, this at-bat has been 3 straight sliders, but there was a couple of fastballs that were elevated that he did not get called at the top of the zone.
And missed outside with the fastball, so 2 on and 1 out. Let's take a look at the defense behind Spencer Strider, thanks to CPI Security Systems. Michael Harris. And Miguel Andujar chases a slider outside the zone. 30 years old, from the Dominican Republic. You might remember him for that big year he had with the Yankees in 2018. He was the runner-up in the American League for Rookie of the Year.
He had a monster season. Unfortunately, ended up dealing with some injuries right after that year. But found his way back to the A's last year and looked pretty good. Got his name back on the map. Missed some more time this year, but it's been quite the journey.
Yeah, he just got reinstated from the injured list yesterday. Missed about a month with a strained right oblique. And that time, Andujar sends the slider to deep center, but Harris has it squared up. And the runners will hold.
A good bounce back after a 4-pitch walk there from Spencer Strider that he gets Andujar out on 3 pitches, and again, all sliders, taking advantage of an aggressive hitter and a little weak contact there off the end of the bat.
You mentioned that increased so throwing it a lot when he was behind in the count. In fact, more than half of his pitches in hitters' counts were sliders. Tyler Soderstrom cranks one deep to right, and Ronald Well, watch it go. A 3-run homer for Tyler Soderstrom, and the A's strike first.
That bat, a left-handed hitter. Same thing for Soderstrom, and perhaps maybe he went up looking for a slider early.
So 3-0 A's. Here's Max Muncy. So let me ask you this, CJ. If Spencer Strider knew Soderstrom was sitting on a slider, does that change the pitch call, or is it just a matter of trying to execute it better?
Yeah, I don't know if he necessarily is even thinking that, quite honestly. He has his game plan that he's going to stick to. At the end of the day, more often than not, it is going to be about execution. This is what we were talking about, though, when you look at Strider and the heavy slider usage. You mentioned it a career high, and then look at what the A's have done coming into this one. 817 OPS, 27 homers against the slider. Both of those numbers the best in Major League Baseball, so they've hit that slider well.
I know we've heard Tom Glavine talk about this, but you see those numbers, you're Spencer Strider, and you say, well, I still got my slider.
That's right.
Just because they hit the slider doesn't mean they can hit my slider.
You go hitter by hitter, especially. You look for the zones. What sliders are they hitting? What did they look like? Have they been bad ones that have been up in the zone, or guys making a lot of mistakes in this ballpark, particular with the issues that they have with home runs? So it's absolutely correct. And when you're basically a two-pitch pitcher, the way Spencer Strider is, you're not going away from anything.
0-2. He gets Max Muncy on the slider off the plate, but Tyler Soderstrom with a 3-run homer, and the A's draw first. It was an impressive first inning for Sears. He was able to locate the slider and the sweeper. Got through the top of the order in only 10 pitches. And for Murph, we've talked about Matt Olson's history as an A. Murph's got plenty of it as well. Won a Gold Glove with the A's back in 2021. Came up through the A's system, and it's just a long list of players who were stars in Major League Baseball that began with Oakland at the time.
They developed really well over the years, and everyone is aware of the economic situation for them. which means that they are unable to hold on to most of those guys when it is time for them to start getting paid. Now, it's changed a little bit with the contracts that they've given to Butler, what they've given to Rooker, and they're trying to keep these guys around longer. And knowing that they have to be ahead of the curve. They wait too long, you get into arbitration years, and those players get too expensive.
Murph ahead in the count here, 3-1. I mean, some of those other names you think about, Marcus Semien, Sean Manaea, Josh Donaldson. We're going to see Sonny Gray on Sunday in the final game of the first half with the Cardinals.
Was Frankie Montas an original A?
Sure was.
They generally have done pretty well. Those are tough trades to make sometimes. Fan favorites. It was tough on A's fans when they were in Oakland over the years. They'd see these guys, they'd get attached to these guys, and then they'd be gone.
Yeah, Murph caught looking there. So far, he's had feel for that arm side slider.
That's a frustrating one for Murph because he chased the 3-1 pitch. It was outside of the strike zone. Would have been a walk, and then he gets painted here with a pretty good-looking slider down and away.
And now Jurix and Profar. Jurickson had an RBI double late last night in the Braves' 9-2 win.
He's been great from this side, too, against the lefties so far for Profar. 4 for 10. Even Wiley Ballard can figure out that's a 400 batting average. Go Tech.
Oh, just foul. I wouldn't overstate my mathematical abilities. I'm a quick typer.
How do you feel about the 5 for 30 from the other side? Can you calculate that batting average? I wouldn't be able to. 1 for 6. Right, is that how you do it? Reduce it 1 to 6, and then what is 1/6?
167.
Nah, you're so smart. I knew you knew that. The layup for you. I did not know that. I had to look.
Appreciate using the adjective smart, not nerdy. That was kind.
Oh, of course.
0-2 here on Profar. Fastball up and in.
And again, he's not going to overpower you, right? He's going to try to disguise that fastball a little bit. It has played decently for him. He's actually gotten a respectable amount of swing and miss on that four-seam fastball.
Goes hard in again. What effect does that pitch have on a hitter?
Especially in, very much so, because again, we've seen him use the backdoor pitch, the off-speed pitches backdoor with the sweeper and the slider, so it opens up the outside part of the plate, and you can see them trying to go out there right now.
Yeah, that one fluttered a little further in, as Profar is a tad early on it, but that's one of the old pitching strategies, right? Hard in, soft away.
A lot hasn't changed, even though a lot has changed. It's funny the conversations that you have with guys, and you kind of go in these circles in the data and how your pitches play and how's your induced vertical break, and a lot of times you get back to hard in, soft away. And as a lefty, you've got to be able to throw inside to those righties.
Profar stays alive. And you look at those left-right splits for Sears, CJ. You also want to factor in the plate appearances. 85% of the batters he has faced this year have been right-handed, so he's had plenty of time to feel comfortable with a right-hander in the box.
Yep, a lot of those teams are giving those lefties off when J.P. Sears is on the mound if they can.
7th pitch of the at-bat. And Profar bounces it. Fights off a changeup that time. There's a wrinkle. There you see those numbers. And again, keep an eye on the at-bat total there, but those 16 homers against right-handed hitters, were you telling me that's the most in Major League Baseball?
It's the most allowed to right-handed hitters in the game. Overall, I think it's about 8th in home runs allowed, but he's gotten it straightened out, at least lately. 3 straight and 4 or 5 where he is not allowed a homer.
2-2. Ooh. Back to the changeup. So at this point, you got to feel like Profar's got a bit of an advantage. He's seen about everything.
He's gotten a good look, but he's been out in front of the off-speed pitches so far. He's fouled off some tough ones, and in the back of your mind, you're still thinking about him trying to pop you in with a heater.
Another 2-2. And Jurickson Profar fends it off. This kind of brings me back to those at-bats we saw from him in San Diego to start the season.
That's absolutely right. And it was interesting to watch Austin Wynns there. If you saw him tap kind of straight middle, that was a slider. And what he's telling him is start at middle because it's going to end up on the corner, which is exactly what it did.
10th pitch of the at-bat. We're just a touch up and in. Here's a look at the sequence so far for Jurickson Profar. It's that 5 fastballs, a couple changeups, 3 breaking balls. And you see Sears. And now time granted. Is that the Jurickson Profar took some time to make that? Oh,
yeah. No,
is that Wynn's calling for that?
It was the conversation about where they want to go, and the difference here when you have a deep repertoire and you have this deep plate appearance where you've seen 10 pitches already. Everyone's got an opinion on where you want to go, and ultimately for me, I know it's early, but
first inning, he's had a 10-pitch at bat here against Jurickson Profar. J.P. Sears out of Sumter, South Carolina. His payoff pitch. And Profar skies one into center. Clark drifting in, and he's got it. Well, it was fun to see Marcell Ozuna clear the outfield wall last night, his first homer since back on June 13th. We know Snitz talked about it, but Marcell has a track record of at the snap of a finger, off he goes.
And he's talked about feeling better, right, as far as what's been going on with the hip and removing the wrap that he had on it. Hopefully that's freed him up a little bit more to get off that A swing. I think whenever you see him go right of center the way that we did to the opposite field, always a good sign with any hitter. Tells you that he is on it, and Marcell has always shown you that good opposite field power.
He's got a double this series as well. Awkward swing there, quickly 0-2. Here is the home run from last night.
A cutter that was elevated that he did not.
Hit in last night's win. Well, he's been getting to 2 strikes against Braves hitters. And he has retired the first 5, but looking at the pitch count, you wouldn't think that.
That's a good bounce back. You can see this inning now, 31 pitches. Excuse me, in this game, 31 pitches, and for the most part has filled up the strike zone.
A little high, 2-2.
Yeah, I don't think high is going to be available tonight with Chris Guccione behind the plate. Generally, he has been pretty tight. Up and in, maybe a little bit to right-handed hitters, but for the most part, top of the zone has been relatively tight for him this season.
2-2 on the way. And Marcell lofts one high in the air. Clark again measuring. And he secures it. A 1-2-3 inning, but on 23 pitches for J.P. Sears.
that's really quite clever, isn't it?
Out west, we'll fly to St. Louis after the game tonight. And a first pitch strike to Austin Wynns, who's got some history with Spencer Strider. In fact, he homered off Strider when he was a Giant 3 years ago.
Only 2 A's have faced Spencer Strider in their career. Shea Langoliers, who's not in the lineup. And as you mentioned, this guy right here in Austin Wynns. Now, I think you're probably giving him the start anyway, but you look ahead and see if there's any success, even though it was only those 4 plate appearances. But a double and a home run in there. He drove in 4 against Spencer Strider that season.
0-2. He got him. Quick work. A fastball up in the attic. Second strikeout for Spencer Strider.
Yeah, don't forget that Spencer Strider is very much aware of some of that history, and he handled Austin Wynns extremely well. Even though maybe their setup, Sean Murphy, is outside, this one certainly plays as well to get some chase.
So Wynns down on 3 pitches. It was a 3-run homer from Tyler Soderstrom in the first that's given the A's the lead. And now a high fly ball yanked foul by Zach Geloff. And we saw that Sacramento River, CJ. Sacramento has been the capital of California since 1852. So
yeah, we were talking about that last night at the bar.
There was 1 year where it was not the capital.
Oh, really? After that?
After that, yep.
So for 1 year, must have been some kind of strife going on, maybe, potentially. I don't know. I will say at the time, it's kind of where you're getting at. What city was the capital of California for just 1 year?
For 1 year, 1862.
Oh, it had to be Fresno.
Geloff behind 1-2.
Nailed it, huh?
San Francisco.
Oh, boring.
But going back to why, though, it was not strife. Late in 1861, the river overflowed.
Oh, really?
And the city was deemed.
Shut it down.
Yeah, they had to shut it down, evacuate. Check swing. He went. First base umpire Jonathan Parra ringing up Zach Geloff. And since that home run, Spencer Strider struck out the next 3.
And he's done it on 7 pitches. He was very upset when that ball got in the air, and he came back and he got the punch out, and now he gets a couple a year in this inning. Good location when he's gotten into these 2-strike counts, these last couple of hitters for Spencer Strider.
And the rookie Denzel Clark. So far in this series, he's 3 for 8. A lot of ground balls. A few he's been able to beat out for base hits.
Now, he is a lower contact guy. He's got kind of an unsustainable strikeout rate. If you'll, obviously, he's a great defender. A decent amount of chase, but you think about league average when we talk about strikeout rate. And, yeah, that sits around 22%. So far for Clark this year, 40% strikeout rate.
That's hard to sustain a job in the big leagues with that.
You can bat ninth if you're playing premier defense in a premier position and you're doing some other little things. Can you get runners over? Can you bunt for a hit once in a while? Could you steal a couple of bases? You can hide a guy like that in your lineup as long as you're getting premier defense.
So needless to say, Spencer Strider's not going to be happy with that 4-pitch walk to Clark. So 9th place hitter is aboard at first.
This game is so weird, man.
So with 2 down, that gives Lawrence Butler a chance here in the second. I think Lawrence Butler might have been sitting first pitch fastball.
These guys are aggressive early. We talked about it. As a group coming in is one of the most aggressive in baseball, fewest plate appearances, meaning they're getting after it early, looking for pitches to hack at.
Off goes Clark. The pitch is low. Murph fires down. Too much speed for Denzel Clark. He's now 6 for 6 on the year.
And again, that's what he brings to the table. It's not a big bat, but it's the speed, it's the defense, and he picked a spot here to go against Spencer Strider and Sean Murphy, and he got himself a pretty healthy jump against Strider.
It's not something the A's do a whole lot of. They're in the bottom 10 in baseball in stolen bases. And a bouncer. A couple of twin hops. Ozzie over to first. And Spencer Strider works around that 2-out walk. On to the third.
frozen tree. That's enough. You got your initial, I'm assuming your initial on your hat. Life is good right now out on the berm. You better eat that fast, right? You think about sometimes you get those ices and they're so ridiculously solid frozen. That thing's going to be thawing in about a half an inning. So let's get to work, boys.
I think those are the Minute Maid frozen lemonades.
I think you might be right.
And let me tell you.
You lived on those in college, I'm guessing.
No, not in college.
Now?
Well, maybe after this trip.
I'd like to sit on one of those right now. It would feel great.
I can remember sitting at Turner Field and having that melt in my hands when I was about 8 years old, and I can taste it right now. 1-1 is a ground ball. Shout out to Short. Muncie retires Ozzy. So far, 7 up, 7 down for J.P. Sears. And here is Michael Harris. And look, we know the chase has been an issue for Michael. For what it's worth, it has dropped by about 15% over the last dozen games, so it is getting a little better.
That's a big number. To be able to bring it down that much over that time tells you what Michael is working on right now. And what it leads to is a couple more called strikes. Now, you don't want to be swinging at a first pitch sweep around the corner anyway, left on left, but we have seen it. A couple of called strikes against Michael, and that's kind of the tax that you have to pay when you were working on trying to tighten up your chase.
Then on the hands, a little dribbler. Sears makes a fine play. 8 up, 8 down. Well, he really labored in that second inning, throwing 23 pitches, but now he's gotten the first 2 outs on 5 here in the third. And Nick Allen.
I figured Nick Allen has seen quite a bit of J.P. Sears from the other side, basically from this view right now that we get. And so he's got an idea of how his pitches work. He understands, of course, that he's going to be aggressive in the zone. He has helped J.P. Sears out a pretty good amount in his career. Certainly we pick up on the great defense, and now it's payback time for Nick Allen.
And Tim Hires was telling us that Sears likes to use that sweeper at the top of the zone. That's not usually where you would see that pitch, right?
No, and we've seen the trend, I think, call it the last, 5 or 6 years or so, but even more so this year for me, where guys are using their breaking balls, especially the cutter seems to be a popular one, but at the top of the zone. And they sit there and they study swings, and, of course, the old adage was breaking balls got to be down. That is not the case anymore, especially if you're using your fastball up there as well.
Well, Nick, ahead in the count here, 3-1. Do you think it's something where because Sears' sweeper and slider can be so flat, it makes a little more sense to do that?
100%. You're not going to see that 12-6 curveball where you're trying to catch the top of the zone. You might see it if we go to full ABS.
Oh, my goodness. Nick Allen's going to have to strap back in.
I think Chris Guccione has been really good so far tonight. That might be one of the first ones that we have seen outside the strike zone that got called a strike.
We did find out they're going to use ABS in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I like it. It's going to be fun. 2 challenges. Get to see ABS on the big stage.
Allen, 3-2, drives into the air. Butler retreats, but he's there. And it's another 1-2 inning for J.P. Sears.
on, and outside of the 3-run home run, I feel like he has thrown the ball pretty well so far tonight. I was very curious to see what that first pitch was going to be. Remember, Brent Rooker got himself a double on a first pitch fastball that he jumped on. Doesn't mean you can't throw a first pitch fastball again. It just means you got to hit your spot.
You mentioned that Strider used his slider more often than he ever has in that last start against the Orioles. You look at some of the metrics on that pitch from that start, CJ, it was also the least amount of glove side movement we have seen from him this season.
So horizontal as far as right to left. You ever seen that ball go straight down, which makes a lot of sense, as much as we'll talk about J.P. Sears with that lower arm angle and keeping his breaking pitches flat. For a high fastball guy like Spencer Strider, you want depth on your breaking ball. He knows how to manipulate it as good as anybody. And that one there did have some good horizontal movement on it.
You see Rick Kranitz, who was in the shade earlier, now Snit's in the shade. It's hot down there. So 4 strikeouts for Strider. Now he'll face Nick Kurtz, who walked on 4 pitches his first time up. Kurtz out of Wake Forest, a first-round pick last summer. He went to high school in Braves country at the Baylor School in Chattanooga.
First changeup of the night from Spencer Strider right there. Remember, the first at-bat, it was 3 straight sliders and then a fastball that was up, that 4-pitch walk that we saw to Kurtz, and now it's fastball and changeup away.
We've seen Spencer have success with just those 2 pitches, the 4-seamer and the slider. Where do you see him try to sprinkle in that changeup? What are the circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, lefties for sure. I think power lefties that hit the fastball well, it makes a lot of sense, just to get them off it a little bit. Put it in the back of their mind. Let them know you're not afraid to throw it, even though he doesn't throw it a lot. But that is a pitch that, for a right-handed pitcher, generally is designed to throw to your lefties.
Kurtz has asked for time. You can see that batter's eye back there. It's a different look than what you'll see at most Major League parks.
Yeah, it is bright. It's something that we talked about yesterday, and Brent Rooker mentioning that. And the challenge is the first few innings at this time of year, what they're noticing, and it can be tough to see sometimes.
Well, Snit talked about it after the game. Another feature of this park, he feels like the ball travels much further before the sun sets.
A little marine layer effect like you get when you're in Los Angeles, especially with the Angels. I don't think it's marine layer here necessarily, but probably something to that. Got him.
Got him at the hollow of the knee. 5 strikeouts for number 99.
It's a great job by Spencer Strider to kind of dig into the entire repertoire to get Kurtz. He went back to the slider 3 straight to finish him off. That's perfectly located.
A's still with the lead with that home run from Tyler Soderstrom. Miguel Andujar lined out to center. He saw nothing but sliders in that first at bat, and now a fastball to start him off. Strider looking to strike out the side.
You go in for effect there, not all the time, but a lot of times, especially right on right, that now becomes perhaps about the slider away, and especially similar to the one that we saw to Rooker that might have a little bit more horizontal break outside of the zone. There it was.
Strider reaches back to 2-2. Hit softly, shallow left center. Nick Allen is there. And Spencer Strider has retired the last 4. 4 homers, 7 RBI, and 21 total bases. That is a season high.
More of that, please. We'll take that right now. Trying to come back in this game against J.P. Sears, a left-hander who's had some home run issues that quieted down for a little while, but it's time for the Braves to kind of get back on track with the long ball against this guy.
The Braves have yet to swing at the first pitch of an at-bat. Sears is 8 for 10 in first pitch strikes.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it makes you wonder a little bit, was that a strategy going in as a group or just happened to work out that way the first 10 hitters so far? But perhaps J.P. Sears, I mean, he is a strike thrower, but he does have a deep repertoire. And it could be about, hey, you know what, let's look at one. Don't let him have quick innings if you can avoid it.
Ooh, just missed. Sears' little pause after not getting that call. Ronald in a 3-1 count. He cut it loose.
See that location, though? And that's why it's so important when you see that at 93 miles an hour. So take a look at a little bit of StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud and the Braves' 5 home runs that we saw last night. That red one we how stories get told. I do kind of feel bad for this generation. They got all their fun information, but it's pretty hard to embellish anything that you've done in your career now.
And Ronald Acuna Jr. sat down by the fastball. 4th strikeout for J.P. Sears. He's retired the first 10 men he's faced.
It's surprising to see. Remember, Ronald punched out on the sweeper the first time, so it's always in the back of your mind when you get to that 2-strike count. And if you're thinking about either one of those breaking pitches, all of a sudden the fastball is going to jump on you a lot quicker, and I think that's what we saw.
And now Matt Olson. And there is a swing at the first pitch there from Matt.
He'd said enough is enough.
We talked about it in Game 1, but Matt has now officially played more games as a Brave than as an A. Driving the ball down the left field line. Soderstrom chase. Does he have room? No, Lance foul.
Well, there's the ball kicked almost into left center field. We couldn't see it. We got blocked off. Like, oh, I wonder if he caught that. And then all of a sudden the baseball was just going down the warning track towards center field. Got all the way to that Golden One Credit Union sign.
Yeah, Soderstrom, he's had some adventures out there in left field. He's in the lineup for his bat. We saw why with that 3-run homer. But he is a catcher-turned outfielder.
He looks the part, right? He looks athletic, tall guy. But that is asking a lot. But they want to keep that bat in the lineup, like you said. And so out to left field, there have been some adventures early on. I think he's getting a little bit better out there.
1-2 pitch. Matt fights off a fastball. A 1-2. Just off the plate.
So far, so good here for Matt Olson in not chasing those breaking pitches off the plate, especially the sweeper. You can see why Sears has been okay against the lefties. The way that he uses the fastball in to combine it with both of the breaking balls away is a really tough combination, but so far, Matty's tracked it well.
Fouls that one off. We were talking about Tyler Soderstrom. Let's take a look at our T-Mobile coverage cam. This is on Sunday night.
Jose Canseco, and he never was the same since. I don't know. So the other part of that, the play with Soderstrom in left field, very unique here in this ballpark, how deep the warning track is. It is as wide as any in the game, and we were talking to Mark Kotze before the game. I asked him about it, and he said he thinks they tried to copy what they have in San Francisco at their ballpark there at Oracle Park, which I thought was kind of an interesting take on it and why they would do that. Not exactly sure, but it is something for outfielders that you have to go out there. You got to count the steps. You need to know how many strides you are away from the wall.
Strike 3 called. A perfectly spotted fastball from J.P. Sears.
This is why we talk about fastball location, why it is so important. Tough to hit these pitches right there, and you're not going to throw it any better down and away to a lefty from a left-handed pitcher.
That would have brought a smile to Leo Mazzoni's face. Fastball low and away.
Down and away. Don't ever. You could never give up a hit in. You would hear about it from Leo. And I like throwing my two-seamer in. You better not let up any hits.
Austin Riley takes a first-pitch changeup. Well, you can see why J.P. Sears has led the A's in innings each of the last 2 seasons. And he is in a groove right now in his season. Did not give up a run in either of his last 2 starts. That included one in the Bronx against the Yankees, who went 5 2/3 scoreless, and then on the 4th of July threw up 6 zeros against the Giants here at Sutter Health Park. So he's been running hot these last couple of weeks. And Riley keeps it fair inside the third base bag. And he will get to second base with the Braves' first base runner of the night.
Well, he saw a changeup, and then he turned on this fastball, 93 miles an hour, and out of the reach of Andujar over there at third base. Smoked off the bat of Austin Riley. We mentioned it yesterday. Really good plate appearances. He grounded out in his first one, but right now seeing the baseball well is Austin Riley.
7 extra base hits in 9 games this month. We've talked about how he has owned the month of July. It's looks like it might be happening again. Sweeper backs up, ball 1. I was talking to Tim Hires today about Sean Murphy, and he kind of described Sean as a bit of a gambler when he steps into the box. He'll sit on a certain pitch, may not be a fastball, looking for it.
I think it's a good way to describe the way that he goes about it. Offensively, he's not afraid to take some chances, right? And if he sees that pitch, even when we talked about him offering it a 3-1 pitch outside of the strike zone, if it's the pitch that he was sitting on and he feels like he can get to it, he's going to go for it.
1-1. You talk to some hitters, you ask, would you rather know where the pitch is going to be or the velocity of it? Most of them will say velocity. They just want to be on time.
Yeah, or what pitch it's going to be, right? I think that's probably one that you feel like as long if you knew it and you feel like, okay, I can track it no matter where it is. It's where the garbage can can come in handy. Let you know exactly what pitch is coming.
It's hard to believe it's been 8 years since that. I mean, granted, it didn't come out until 2020 with the Astros and the cheating scandal.
Getting old, Wiley.
I feel like this whole time thing is starting to move faster and faster.
Yes, welcome.
Sean Murphy ropes one down the left field line, fair, and Austin Riley can trot home. Murph's looking for a double, and he is safe. Oh, my. What a close play. That was Geloff trying to apply the tag. I'm not sure he knew Murph was as far away from second as he was.
No, and a little bit surprised to see Murph not slide there. They're not going to challenge this. I think Murph probably realizes that he should have. Either way, it works out fine, and maybe he saw something in the throw and he felt like it was offline. But first of all, Check out Sean Murphy all over this sweeper. Back-to-back doubles down the left field line. How about that bounce? That was part of it. That ball bounced right to Soderstrom. He played it really well. And the missed cutoff, if they cut that and make a throw, maybe they have a chance. But that was close.
So a 2-out, 2-strike RBI for Sean Murphy. Let's see if Ozzie can pick up a clutch hit. Beg your pardon, Jurickson Profar. And that snaps J.P. Sears' scoreless streak at 15 1/3.
Now let's go ahead and snap that homerless streak. We're talking about how good Jurickson Profar has been against lefties, right side of the plate. Had a really good at-bat last time where he saw 11 pitches. Now he didn't get a hit. He ultimately flew out to center field. But you also feel like that's the kind of plate appearance that should be able to pay some dividends in your next at-bat.
Heading the count 2-0. And Profar sends a high fly, deep left. Soderstrom's at the wall, and this game is tied. Jurickson Profar.
Big smiles there for Jurickson Profar as he gets a four-seam fastball that was not far enough in. And look at the head down, and all over this pitch was Jurickson Profar. Not as far as some of these other ones that we have seen, but they all count the same. Great job by Jurickson Profar to go ahead and break up that homerless streak and get the Braves tied in this game against the A's.
That is now 7 homers in the series for the Braves. It is also now 10 straight games that the A's have given up at least one homer. And how about this 2-out rally? A double from Riley, a double from Murph, and then a homer from Profar.
We talked about it. Remember, 11 pitches in that first at-bat. He got himself in a nice 2-0 count and sat all over a heater.
That was a real quick visit, by the way, from Scott Emerson, pitching coach for the A's. We are all square.
Carlos Mendez there on the left, one of the assistant hitting coaches here with the Braves, talking to Jurickson Profar.
Soft bouncer out to short. Muncy ends the fourth, but not before the Braves pull even. Jurickson Profar. for Tyler Soderstrom. He's seen 2 pitches.
Aggressive early, certainly forcing fastball from Spencer Strider. He's aware of that. Obviously, again, you know the guys that are going to be aggressive, and he still was able to get a base hit. Didn't hit it that hard, but nonetheless, a base hit.
And before that base hit, Spencer had retired 7 of 8 after the Soderstrom home run, including Max Muncy, who was down on a slider swinging. Kind of like that.
There's good first pitch swings and there's bad first pitch swings. And that one right there, when you're chasing a breaking pitch that is clearly outside by about a foot, that's a bad approach. Something we noticed, Spencer Strider, last couple of games, gotten a lot of ground balls. He's not a ground ball pitcher, right? He's a fly ball strikeout type of pitcher. But his previous 2 starts combined 18 ground outs for Spencer Strider. Prior to that, he was averaging just a tick over 3 groundouts per game. So what a stark contrast for him. I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was using that slider more. And while that generally is a swing and miss pitch for him, he had been getting guys to hit that on the ground. And not necessarily his game, but be a great time for a ground ball right now.
See if Max Muncy will supply it. Fouls it straight back. Brian Snitker talked about it before the game, but without that elite fastball velocity in the upper 90s, feels like Spencer Strider's finding a way to get hitters out with perhaps a different plan than he's used in the past in his career.
100%. He's one of the smartest pitchers in the game, and so there's been some adjustments that he's had to make, and that meant, as we talked about last start, more sliders in there. Sometimes that is opponent-driven. We know, of course, he added the curveball last year and working on that kind of kick change style changeup, even though you don't see it a lot. It'll be interesting to see how this year finishes out and if there's any adjustments to the fastball types that he throws for me. I don't think he can necessarily throw a sinker based on the fact that he can't throw a traditional changeup the way that he is built and the way that his body moves. But I do wonder about a potential cutter for him at some point.
We talked to him early in the season about trying to limit some of that arm side run. He likes to play true and ride due north, if you will. But you think there's a circumstance maybe that run could help him?
You know, I just had this conversation with Steve Sachs, who's doing pre and posts, radio and television for the A's, and we both said, I don't get it. Guys don't want to throw the sinker anymore. It seems like they've gotten away from it. And I understand when you have the big fastball, it plays well up in the zone, but there is something to be said for, and I'm not even saying Strider in this case necessarily, but just in general, for a good 2-seam fastball to keep your pitch count down, to get those ground balls. You got a great defense here in Atlanta, so for this group, it would make sense, at least to me, to throw a few more right-on-right 2-seam fastballs.
Muncy takes off. Beg your pardon, Soderstrom, and he is out. And it's a double play.
Soderstrom is staying put as if he thinks they're going to challenge this. He's asking, like, you're going to challenge it, right? He can't believe that he's out. But, yeah, that was a strike him out, throw him out. Take a look at this tag here. First of all, great job by Ozzie and where he is placed. And did they get him?
Ooh, that's close.
It is
Where's
close.
that hand?
Too close to tell, and obviously they ran out of time to challenge it anyway. But I say that for Ozzie because he let that ball travel a little bit. I had a lengthy conversation with Walt Weiss about this a couple of weeks ago. And when it comes to receiving throws at second base, and I always asked him, I said, I feel like guys, and what do I know, left-handed pitcher, shouldn't they be straddling the bag? He said, no, you don't straddle the bag to receive throws. We actually want guys in front so that you can adjust to a throw that might be up the line. When you're up front like that, though, he says we just don't want guys going to get the baseball. Right? If it's on target, let that ball travel. It's always going to be faster than you catching it and bringing the tag back. That's what Ozzie did in that spot perfectly.
1-1 to Austin Wynns.
And that's why, Wiley, you do not have left-handed pitchers. Teach middle infielders how to receive throws on stolen bases.
It does sound counterintuitive. A shattered bat. Tough hop. Kicks off Nick Allen's glove. And Austin Wynns will be safe at first.
Now that's the way you can get Nick Allen. Broken bat, funky spin, and that bat was also coming his way. So certainly he is seeing it in his peripheral. Great pitch. Now that 4-seam fastball did have some run to it, and that's why I like a running fastball, you shatter a bat, but see where the bat is, and then it just had a little bit of a different spin on it. And so for Nick Allen, didn't put himself in the position to do that great footwork that we always see from him. I think got fooled by the swing.
So that extends the inning for Geloff. That's got to be a base hit, right? They scored that yet?
I think so, yeah. It is going to be a base hit. It's a tough one. Plus, it's Nick Allen.
Yep.
Nick Allen doesn't make errors. I believe his only 2 errors are throwing errors, right? He's not made a fielding error yet this year.
That is correct. In fact, the Braves haven't made a fielding error as a team in nearly a month.
Good jinx, Wiley. No, I'm just kidding. He's getting ahead of it.
I knew Geloff wouldn't put that ball in play. Spencer Strider strikes out Geloff on 3 pitches.
To see. Obviously, we need wins. We're trying to stockpile a bunch, headed into the All-Star break, getting this team back on track, but they've done a really nice job against these A's, and it's time to keep that going.
Ray's going to try and keep that 2-out magic going if they conjured up in the 4th. J.P. Sears had retired the first 11 hitters. It's Ozzie drives this one high in the air to right. Butler battling the sun. Makes the catch. But suddenly CJ was about a dozen pitches later, the game was tied.
Well, it was a great job by Austin Riley with the 2-out double to kind of get things going a little bit, and then to see the Braves continue to hit and take really good at-bats. Another double in there for Sean Murphy, and of course the big home run from Jurickson Profar. Take note of that fly ball, by the way, that we saw, and as Butler kind of came back a little bit, we were told that some balls hit down the line here that you might usually give up on. You expect to go foul, but come back with some consistency.
Michael Harris drives one into center. Clark does a full 360 out there, but he finds it.
Thought we were going to see a Savannah Banana catch there for a second. Thought he had something up his sleeve.
2 outs on 3 pitches for J.P. Sears here in the 5th. Look at that pitch count by inning. It's quite a wide disparity.
It certainly is, and now it's Nick Allen's job to try to make sure that it's not a quick one under 10 pitches, or this is only the 5th pitch now of the inning. And Stitt mentioned this. He's been good at this at times with 2 outs.
As he shoots one down the right field line, Nick Allen with a base hit. Big turnaround first. And Nick's back in safely.
Feeling a little frisky after that base hit, but kind of to finish that point, you've gotten to these spots with a couple of outs, and he gets the order turned over, which gets Ronald Acuna to the plate, which you love seeing with a runner on base in front of him. I'm not exactly sure what Nick Allen was thinking here. He had 0 shot at a double. It's a great piece of hitting, and that's when he is at his best with those low-line drives.
Just a nice poke down the right field line. Ronald Acuna Jr. struck out once on the sweeper, once on the fastball against Sears. Ronald.
Did he call timeout?
Yeah, did he call timeout? Is that no pitch?
It looks like. I mean,
Looks
the
like
fact
no
that
pitch, yeah.
Chris Guccione is pointing to him tells me that he had timeout there. We don't see Ronald take pitches like that too often where it's going to be 100% a take. That's interesting that they're going to give him that because you see nothing from Guccione. That's a late reaction. I'd be upset if I was Sears.
So still 1-0.
I did love that Ronald yesterday in the postgame interview. We talked to him and asked him about, was he thinking about a 3rd home run? He didn't pretend. It wasn't like, oh, no, I'm just trying to do my job and have a really good at-bat. He said, yeah, I was thinking about trying to hit a 3rd home run. Of course I was.
With a big lead like the Braves had, why not take a shot? He's never had a 3-homer game. 1-2. Let's take a look at our Zaxby's Who's Got the Sauce. The highest on-base percentage in Major League Baseball since his return. We talked so much about the power and the speed, but he's been an on-base machine.
He's been great, kind of reminding us how much we missed him. Not that we didn't know, but maybe more than we realized with how good he has been.
And what's been interesting, CJ, you go back to his MVP season 2 years ago. I know he's only played 42 games this year, but the walk rate is much higher this year. Not that you're going up there looking for Ronald to walk, but that's part of the reason to be able to get on.
No, I think, again, I've said it a couple of times now, but he came back with a vengeance, right? He wasn't playing well last year, I didn't think, before he got hurt. And maybe a little bit frustrated after the monster season that he was coming off of. And when he was doing that rehab, he was getting after it clearly. A lot of talk about him and what he was putting into the recovery. And then I think we started to see then the results about how determined he really has been to put up big numbers.
Full count, 3-2, and I mentioned the walk rate is up. For what it's worth, he's actually homering more often on a per-at-bat basis than he did 2 years ago in the 40-70 season. Braves trying to continue to grind to Sears. Another one of those high sweepers. And this is the last piece to Ronald compared to last year. His plate appearances are lasting longer, more pitches. Here comes the payoff pitch. And Ronald's down on strikes. Well located fastball at the top of the zone. Halfway. We got something loose in center field, maybe? Is that what Michael was going to track down?
It wasn't a violation, right?
I don't think so.
We already talked about the eye contact.
I think that might have been what it was. So a strike on Clark. Quickly 0-2. We talk about this being the home of the Giants AAA park. A's will play 81 games here. The River Cats will play 75. So that was 156 games here at Sutter Health Park this summer. Do you think anybody's going to all 156?
All 156 what?
Games here.
Oh, all 156 for both?
Yeah. River Cat season tickets, A's season tickets.
Listen, we're in somewhat Northern California. There's a crazy person here or two that might be up for it. Gotta have a good heat tolerance to make it work.
And Clark takes a fastball at the thigh. That's another strikeout for Spencer Strider. He's got 7.
We saw him strike out looking maybe in game 1 where he had a very similar reaction where watching a strike go by, for whatever reason, for Clark just kind of brings him to his knees. He knows.
Kind of like a punch in the stomach.
I got a question for you, Wiley. Do you have any trolls in your life? Just kind of stay on you, giving you, you know what? Yeah, what a good troll will do.
Yeah, I got little brothers.
Yeah, okay.
Is that what you're asking? Butler drives it the other way. Profar is there on the track.
So I asked that question because I think maybe I married one. My wife just sent me a note, a little screenshot from a perfect game tweet that says 101 miles an hour backside triple. And she said, read it.
She say weep?
I think she's on Team Wiley is kind of what I'm getting at. So congratulations, my wife, in favor of using the phrase backside.
Well, I learned something new today. Apparently you can call your wife a troll, and that's okay.
25 years after. So we're in year 26 or 26 deep. We're on actually year number 27. So get to the quarter century mark, and you get a little bit more leeway only when you're on the other side of the country and you can roll the dice that maybe she's not watching the game because it's late at home. That's kind of the safety zone. 25 years, other side of the country.
Fly ball hit deep to right. Acuna off the base of the wall. And Brent Rooker's got a 2-out double.
A lot of back and forth here between Brent Rooker and Spencer Strider, right? We saw the double on the first pitch in his first at-bat. Strider did a great job coming back and punching him out. This is mislocation. You saw the reaction right away from Spencer Strider as this one's going to bounce off of that short wall. He's trying to throw 96 in. He missed kind of outer half, and that allowed Rooker to get his arms extended.
It's the go-ahead run and scoring position here with 2 outs.
That looked to me that Spencer Strider wanted to clear his mind. He didn't like where he was mentally in that spot. It wasn't about trying to keep Brent Rooker closer. He may still have been thinking about that previous pitch.
That's something you found came more naturally later on in your career. I feel like younger guys might be harder to take that reset.
I think very highly of Spencer Strider, the way he carries himself, the way that he is a master of his craft, and so you can appreciate him certainly, again, recognizing a moment where he doesn't want to be mentally. Talk about it physically all the time, right? Those are the easier cues to pick up, but having really good kind of mind control, which is such a challenge as a pitcher to say, you know what, I'm not in a good spot right now. I need to step off. But no, to answer your question, still working on it over here.
Kind of reminds me of lining up a golf shot and you're not feeling it.
Yeah.
You got some guys who will step off. Other guys, I'm just going to hack at it.
Well, that's what I've wondered about the pitch clock. When you see certain pitchers sometimes try to use it to their advantage, where they'll hold to the last second. To your point, whether you're sitting over a punt or a drive, think too long and you get yourself in trouble.
Up and in on Kurtz, 3-1. How aggressive do you think Spencer should be here against Kurtz? Andujar on deck.
It's a great question. I don't think you give in here. Not to say that you don't throw a strike, but you might be thinking quality strike on the corner, and if you miss, so be it.
Kurtz lays off the curveball, so he takes a walk down to first, his second tonight.
And clearly there's been a lot of thinking about Nick Kurtz, quite honestly, and how Spencer Strider was going to attack him after we saw that walk. Did a great job bouncing back with the punch out, but he's kind of used his repertoire and location. It's varied as much as any hitter that he has faced here tonight.
And that's against a guy who was drafted just last summer. Let's pause for a quick message.
No matter what life throws your way, we'll...
So a little potential two-out trouble for Spencer Strider. Double from Rooker and then the walk to Kurtz. And here is Andujar.
You also get a guy who's more aggressive. He's missed a lot of time, right? He hasn't seen live big league pitching. And Strider has handled him well. He executes his pitches here. He will get out of this inning.
Started him off with a slider. And Andujar gets another one, whacked high in the air to center. Harris is camped, and he's got it. Still tied after 5. Despite a positive run differential, the Braves would be just the third team with a winning percentage below .450 if they finish the season with that record.
So it's not the worst. There have been lower winning percentages, but it's when you're looking at teams that are under .450 on there. So there were some teams that were even lower than that.
Oh, I see
so
what you're saying.
This is actually the best of those that were under .450. Okay. If that makes sense. And the reason we bring that up is because it has been an anomaly in what we have seen. Alex Anthopoulos talked about this a couple of weeks ago regarding is it does matter. That number does matter to some degree. And so the point there is that it's odd to see the record based on the fact that they're in positive territory in the run differential, which is one of those things that I think that keeps you optimistic. I know it's getting later in the season, but keeps you optimistic about this team winning more games, and now they probably should have won more. A lot of it has to do with the one-run games, but an oddity nonetheless to get through an entire season to have a positive run differential and a winning percentage under .450.
JT Ginn is on for the A's out of the bullpen. That closes the book on J.P. Sears. Ginn, a former Mississippi State Bulldog, making his 10th appearance of the season.
Yeah, ERA up a little bit, but a good strikeout percentage for him at nearly 28%. Doesn't walk a lot of hitters. Two-seam fastball. We talked about the two-seamer. That's the fastball he uses to go along with the slider, cutter, and changeup.
2-2 on Matt Olson.
Matt Olson probably liking this matchup. Again, he has struggled against lefties. OPS over 1,000. Strikeout rate drops considerably, almost cuts in half compared to when he is facing the righties.
And Olson bounces one to the right side. Zach Gelof's got it. But circling back to the positive run differential and the low win percentage, CJ, look, in the dugout, it's a results-based game. Wins, losses, there's a scoreboard every night. I don't think run differential matters a whole lot in the Braves' minds
100%.
Down there on the field. I am curious, though, as somebody who's watched a lot of baseball and watched a lot of seasons, does that positive run differential impact the way you view this team compared to if the run differential reflected the record?
100%. That and also the players on the field, the personnel that you have. We said this all year long. There have been almost no days where you come to the ballpark and you feel like you don't have a chance to win because of the players that the Braves are putting out there. That goes back to, I think, a lot of the close games. Listen, I don't think fans care about run differential that much either, but we bring it up just to try to kind of hammer home that point. Everybody cares about wins at the end of the day, but you dig in deeper now to find ways to say, okay, are we doing some things wrong here? Yes, the wins and losses matter, but what's really going on with this club? And again, I think it comes down to that just unfortunate stretch that they had where they lost 10 straight one-run games.
Austin Riley facing fellow Mississippi State Bulldog. I guess Austin didn't go there, but he was committed. I think he'd count himself as a Bulldog.
100%. Even if you don't go, you end up getting drafted out of high school. There is still that connection.
I was actually talking to Austin about his official visit to Starkville when he was a senior in high school.
Red carpet?
He said they went to the football practice facility and kicked footballs.
Oh, that's fun.
Because he was a punter. And Riley's down on strikes.
I mentioned it can be really tough on right-handed hitters at 35%. That is the strikeout rate. It's a huge number.
Talk about being drafted in the first round out of high school. Most of those guys will sign. JT Ginn did not.
Oh, really? What
he
pick
was
was
a first-round pick, 30th overall.
Oh, so he was a real first-round pick. It's a kind of
Yes.
one of my stickler things, right? Where you're going to see some guys first round, but they were the 45th pick.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's got to be top 30.
He just made the cut. And CJ, he went to Mississippi State. He was the freshman of the year in 2019. He was a sophomore eligible draft, but about 3-4 months before the draft, UCL tear Tommy John.
Oh, that stinks. So that was, you said, in 18 when that happened? Oh, no, that was out of high school.
Drafted in 18, yep.
Yeah.
19 SEC freshman of the
got it.
year.
Okay.
And then in 2020, now obviously that was going to be a weird year regardless with the season shutting down and the shortened draft.
So he just pitched only that one game in 2020, but it wasn't because of COVID. It was because he had gotten hurt.
Correct.
And still got taken in the second round. Obviously, they knew about the arm, and we know this now. Tommy John elbow surgeries do not scare teams off when they happen at the amateur levels because the success rate has been so good for guys recovering.
And Tapper up third baseline foul. I think sometimes from the outside perspective, CG, think about a Tommy John surgery because the success rate is so high.
It's another guy who had one in college, right, in Clemson?
Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's easy to kind of say, okay, he'll be back in a year and a half and not really think about how intense that rehab process is.
A lot of guys come out better. They come out stronger because of the time that you put in with that rehab, right? You're not essentially distracted by pitching, and you were spending a lot of time to make sure that shoulder and elbow and every other part of your body is fine-tuned.
1-2 to Murphy. Murph fouls that one out of play.
He's got good movement on that two-seam fastball, and he tries to use it to the righty's back door. started off the plate, come back, and catch the outer third. What you hope in that situation is that it leaks a little bit more over the middle of the plate, and that's when it becomes a fastball that you can pull.
Will be the sinker or the slider for Gim. Goes sinker. It was over the heart of the plate.
Now, the other difficult part, even though he's given up 7 home runs in his 30 and a third, is keeps the baseball on the ground really well, which most of your two-seam fastball pitchers will do.
Their quality at bat. We saw that on Tuesday night, CJ. I know the score was not in the Braves' favor. They had some long at bats, and we've seen some long ones tonight. Ooh, just missed. But here's a perfect example. Gim's going to throw his 20th pitch, and he's going for a 1-2-3 inning.
You like seeing it in this heat. This one looked like maybe close, but didn't quite catch the corner. And remember, he started the season as a starter. I think, did he go down for a month afterwards? He made the 4 starts. There was about a month gap in there, and he came back, and he was in the bullpen.
I know he had some elbow inflammation and a quad strain this year.
So it was
some injury. It was a late time call granted there from Chris Gruccione.
And I wonder if Murph called time or not. That's the second time that there's been a late call where an ace pitcher has delivered a pitch that was a strike that they didn't get. And keep in mind, too, Chris Gruccione, we talk about the guys on the field and dealing with the heat. He doesn't get an inning off. He's out there the entire time. These guys are grinding back there in this heat.
You don't get an inning off either.
It's a good point. And it's not like it's an air-conditioned booth, but I can stand up. I can drink water when I want. I can check out if I want to. These guys, they can be on the whole time.
Backdoor two-seamer. Murphy knew it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for JT Ginn. Still tied at 3.
Back with a vengeance after that home run and started striking guys out. And we know that. This guy's an absolute gamer. You hate the idea of this ballpark in particular. And you know you're going to give up home runs, but you miss a pitch, you give a guy a chance. But the Braves now have tied this game and got a good one going on. 2 blowouts, the first 2, and now we got a barn burner. It's a weird phrase.
They got barns out in Sacramento.
I'm sure they do, absolutely. West Sacramento, I mentioned Steve Sachs earlier. Great career that he had. He grew up in West Sacramento on a farm. So there you go. I'm sure he had a barn there.
Oh, late time granted. Oh, no, that's a pitch timer violation. It's going to be on Strider.
I always find this interesting, right? Because you think about an 0-2 pitch, you're going to go outside the zone and try to get some chase. Does that count as your wasted 0-2 pitch?
Now 2-2. You talk about Sacramento and players who have come out of this town. You mentioned Steve Sachs. How about Larry Boa?
Oh, yeah.
And Dusty Baker.
Those are some good baseball names. Dusty Baker, Staxy also told me, still in the area, comes by and visits him once in a while. That's a nice baseball guest to just kind of drop by and knock on your door.
So from 0-2 to 3-2. Well-located fastball, but Soderstrom spoils it.
Yeah, how about the difference in the at-bats, right? From Soderstrom, you mentioned it, 2 pitches, his first 2 at-bats, and now all of a sudden a deeper one here for Spencer Strider and Tyler Soderstrom.
And he's down on the slider. Give Spencer Strider 9 strikeouts tonight.
You don't think that one felt good? As he goes a little sideways with the hat right there. The first 8 strikeouts fun, but the guy that has handled you pretty well, to get him the 3rd time through the order, that one feels a little extra special for Spencer Strider.
I think that sideways hat might have been a reaction to being up 0-2, pitch timer violation, fall behind 3-2. Probably thinking I made that a little harder on myself than it had to be.
That's right.
And already over 75 pitches. And he is looking sharp.
I like that little graphic we showed you. It gives you an idea about Spencer Strider when he's right and he's getting deeper into games, he gets better, right? To get to the 75-plus pitch mark, you got to be on that night, and he's been able to turn it on and keep the baseball in the ballpark.
It kind of reminds me of another guy on this staff, Chris Sale.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about the impact that veterans can have on younger players, you don't even have to be a teammate of Chris Sale to know how he feels about finishing a game.
Well, he understands when he gets to those high pitch counts. We talk about it all the time with him. You can see it in his body language and on his face when he knows he's getting near the end, how much he wants to go as deep as he possibly can, take as much pressure off the bullpen as he possibly can by digging deep as that pitch count starts to climb. And
down goes Max Muncy. 10 strikeouts, and 3 of them around Muncy's collar.
And not surprising to see the slider once again. You talked about the depth last time. Look at that one. That almost looks like a 12-6 curveball the way that it goes straight down.
By the way, Chris Sale named an All-Star for the 9th time in his career, 2nd straight season. Obviously, he will not be available to pitch. But Chris did say, anytime you get a chance to line up on that foul line for the Midsummer Classic and tip your cap, that's pretty special.
And I'm guessing he probably hasn't had a chance to do that in the city that he's playing in, right? I'm trying to think of the first 8. I don't think there was one in Boston or Chicago, right? I can't remember the last time the All-Star game was in Chicago. Was it 99 that we saw it in Boston, so clearly he wasn't there. So that's got to be extra special for him. And to do it at this age, after everything that he had been through and the way he bounced back and won that Cy Young Award last year. He wants this guy pretty bad, too, when you think about Austin wins and that success that he had against Spencer Strider coming into this game, 3 for 4.
Another chance to strike out the side here. Austin Wynn's one of the few veterans in this A's position player group. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. 96-mile-an-hour paint. Spencer Strider carves up the side. Tyler Soderstrom, we'll see ya. Max Muncy, have a seat.
Don't see any action in the bullpen, so it feels like he could be. Take a look at this for Jurickson Profar and what's happening now in left field. 3 home runs in his 32 at-bats since he has returned. All Braves left fielders other than Jurickson Profar combining for just 2 home runs, and a good reminder of why we missed him so much in those 80 games.
And when Jurickson came back last week and spoke to the media, he mentioned multiple times how he felt like he let his team down, put them in a bad spot. And it was hard for him to watch the first half struggles while he was unable to take the field and do what the Braves have asked him to do.
No better way to get guys to forget that than come back and perform. We knew he felt it in that first at-bat, maybe a little bit over-anxious, chased the pitch outside the strike zone, which pretty far out of the strike zone, which we don't really see from him. He's trying to make up for all of it as quickly as he possibly can.
And he sends a tough bouncer. Kurtz snares it, getting covering.
The designated hitter, number 20, Marcell Ozuna.
Now Marcell Ozuna.
Be interesting to see if Marcell gets himself kind of one of those backdoor 2-seam fastballs. Is that seed going to stay there? That's amazing. I say that because Marcell does a good job of getting that baseball in the air sometimes. Well, please stay there and hit a homer, because you're going to have to put one there for the rest of the season if that's the case.
You know, he reminds me of that Mets slugger from Rookie of the Year. You know, that 1993 movie. I'm trying to find what his name is.
Mets slugger?
Yeah, Henry Rowan-Gardner's out there,
Uh-huh.
and he's facing...
It was the Mets?
Yes, I'm confident about that.
But it was more what, chewing tobacco they had all over his face, or was it?
It was something. It might have been slobber. I don't remember what it was.
That's incredible that that's still staying there. How does he not feel that?
Maybe he knows it's there. Is that one of those saving it for later kind of things?
A little flavor saver. You got the long tongue, you just kind of snap it up like a lizard.
I'm told his name is Hito, the Mets slugger. I can hear John Candy saying that now. This Marcell Ozuna sends one high in the air, shallow center. Denzel Clark's got room, and he's got it. Make sure you stick with us. We've got the stretch coming up. Thanks to our friends at Synovus. It'll be Lauren and Peter back in the studio. They were just talking about Pete Crow Armstrong. It'll be Pete Crow Armstrong in the outfield with Ronald Acuna Jr. and Kyle Tucker. That's the National League outfield. So a couple of Cubs and Ronald.
And a lot of slug.
Yep. PCA is center field?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Ronald in right, because that's his right field at truest.
Ozzie Albies puts a charge into one. That ball is sailing, and it is ticketed for the bullpen. Ozzie Albies gives the Braves the lead.
We've talked about some of the issues for Ginn when it comes to left-handed hitters, and with Ozzie turned around here, how about a little slider, and he's out front, but he gets the barrel to it and gets it up in the air. And Ozzie Albies goes 392 feet here to give the Braves a 1-run lead.
And for Ozzie, that is his first home run since May 29th, but it feels good. A's going to the bullpen. The Braves are in front. Old pal.
12 games with the Red Sox this year. This will be game number 13 now here with the A's. His four-seam fastball sitting right around 93. There's one at 92. But he's got a slurve. That's how one of his breaking pitches is classified. Two-seamer cutter changeup. Some curveballs in there as well. Deep repertoire for Sean Newcomb.
And this is his 200th career appearance tonight in his Major League career. Nearly 3/4 of them with the Braves. Michael ahead 2-0.
Of course, he left the Atlanta Braves. He was traded in April to the Chicago Cubs for
Jesse Chavez?
That's correct. The first of 17 different times that Jesse spent time here with the Atlanta Braves. Might not be accurate.
And a tapper back to Newcomb. And he throws across to first to end the 7th inning. Braves have the lead, and we've got the stretch. Peter Lauren, take it away.
Making an appearance, that'll be me, Wiley, on Monday. I'll be spending some time at the Capital One All-Star Village a couple different times, having some fun, and always a treat to be able to participate. So, I mean, listen, those are the autographs you want to get, but if you're looking for the B level, you'll be having a little fun on Monday as well. And I've said this before, it is worth it, no matter what you're doing. I heard Derek Schiller talking about it as well. Yeah, there's the Home Run Derby. Certainly the game is going to be the highlight, all the other events, but if you're going to do nothing, at least make sure you make it to the Capital One All-Star Village. It's a great job over the years for Major League Baseball and putting on events, and always a lot of fun at the All-Star Village during the All-Star festivities.
2-1 on Zach Geloff. Now, how about this decision to stick with Spencer Strider? He's punched out Geloff twice tonight.
Well, here's what you know. He wants to be in there right now. An excellent inning last time for Spencer Strider. He's trying to give this club one more inning.
Geloff punches one to right. Acuna is there. Braves do have action in the pen. Dylan Lee is up. He did pitch last night, but threw just 3 pitches.
This could be about Butler, right, who is on deck right now, the lefty who's due third. Not that Dylan Lee is necessarily a matchup guy. He's been great against right-handed hitters this year.
Denzel Clark walked in his first at bat, struck out in his second. And Spencer leaps ahead 0-2. Gears are turning.
Tell you what, 100 pitches impressive because of the high temperatures here. What we say, 99 degrees or 100 degrees at first pitch. It's cooled off a little bit. That's probably not the right word to use, but not as hot.
Out to Ozzie. 2 down here in the 7th. And a new season high in pitches for Spencer Strider at 101. And on a night where we began at 99 degrees, Spencer Strider, wearing number 99, delivers for the Braves. Another stellar outing, 6 2/3, and he's not happy to give it up the baseball. Did, retiring the final 6 hitters he faced and throwing up 5 2/3 scoreless after that 3-run homer in the first. Dylan Lee is on to face the birthday boy, Lawrence Butler.
And so this will be now the 9th time this season that Dylan Lee has thrown on back-to-back days, and he's been good in these spots. 7 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts on back-to-back days with no walks for Dylan Lee. That's a strike. But I mentioned the splits. He is split neutral. That's the phrase we use for pitchers that get both lefties and righties out at a really high level, and those batting averages tell you that story.
I think Lawrence Butler thought he was getting a birthday fastball. Dylan's slider. His first strikeout, Butler, who's homered twice in this series. This one served and will splash into left. And a base hit for the Westlake High School grad in Atlanta.
And he does it against a slider. Dylan Lee has an excellent slider. However, this team, the A's, have been excellent. The best in baseball. We told you earlier what they've done against sliders this season. He didn't hit it hard, but he stayed on it enough for a base hit.
This is where having that split neutral stat card for Dylan Lee really can pay off. Let's try and get Brent Rooker out, arguably the A's toughest hitter, on the right side.
And he likely will get a steady diet of these sliders, maybe the fastball for show against lefties this year. He has hit the fastball really well. He's hit the changeup really well, which is something Dylan Lee will break out once in a while to these righties, but he hasn't been as good against the slider.
And in these tight spots, Dylan Lee described himself as having a caveman mentality.
Ice in his veins, rarely shows any emotion at all. There's not a moment that overwhelms him. Good time to go for that chase slider out of the strike zone.
Rooker wants time. Braves took the lead on Ozzie Albies' homer in the top of this inning. There you see the numbers. He's been lethal against lefties and righties. Here's his 0-2. Swing and a miss on the high heat. Dylan Lee brings the noise and blows out the eardrums of Brent Rooker. 4-3 after 7. So still Sean Newcomb on the mound. Ahead on Nick Allen, 0-2. Spencer Strider, Rick Kranitz reviewing the outing, and Spencer's a little fired up, huh?
You see that body language in part of the conversation, almost wondering if there's a couple of times he felt like maybe, just kind of guessing here, that he was going a little bit quick, but he was excellent tonight.
And even on nights he's pitched well this season, CJ, if he gives up the first run, he is really critical of himself when he feels like the offense has to come from behind. And that was the case tonight. Give the Braves offense some credit for coming back, but also give Spencer a lot of credit for shutting it down afterwards. A 3-run homer. From then on, he was close to flawless.
He was clearly upset about the home run, the pitch location where he missed his spot, and he bounced back in a really big way. He understands how important it is to get deep into games. He wanted to finish and get through that 7th inning. But again, 101 pitches on a night like tonight, that probably feels like closer to something like 115.
That's just missed. 1-2 on Allen. And the other part of this equation is, CJ, I know we want to improve that one-run game record, but I think everyone would prefer a few tack-on runs.
Absolutely.
What a backdoor slurve there from Newcomb. It's close to a perfect pitch there on Nick Allen.
Now, these A's pitchers, especially the lefties, and what we saw with Sears, do a nice job of commanding that arm side to righties. The backdoor breaking pitches, sweeper, slurve, curveball, whatever it may be, even the slider.
Ronald Acuna Jr. on the first pitch. Broken bat on Duhar with the toss across, 2 down.
The first baseman, number 28, Matt Olson.
Matt Olson looking for his first hit tonight. These guys got any history? I'm putting you on the spot. I'd wonder if the last time they faced each other, Matt was an A and Newcomb was a Brave.
Slow down a little bit and give me a chance to look at it. He's working kind of quick right now, but we'll get there. 2 for 7 in his career for, nope, that's Marcel. 1 for 2.
1-2.
Take that. 1 for 1 with a double. must have been maybe a sacrifice.
Yeah, something like that.
Just 2 plate appearances. Yeah, there was a sacrifice fly for Matt Olson, but that double came back on May 18th when he was pitching for the Red Sox.
So yeah, had not faced each other before this season.
And interesting, that double that Matt Olson hit, second pitch of the at-bat, he had seen a 2-seam fastball that he took for a strike, and then it was a changeup. Left-on-left changeup that Matt Olson got to for that double.
Newcomb doing some work on the mound. Now the 2-2 to Matt. Fights it off. As we wrap up this series here against the A's, CG, we came in a little, at least aware that there had been some criticism of the playing surface here at Sutter Health Park, but Bryce Elder talked about the mound last night. He thought it was in excellent shape, and for the most part, it's looked like a major league field.
Yeah, I think whatever adjustments guys were talking about, no doubt for the grounds crew, they care when they hear those things, and it hurts a little bit when you get some of that negative feedback, and it sounds like they made whatever adjustments are necessary. They have the toughest task by far in baseball with all the games that are being played here. Look out.
A little hot foot action from Matt Olson. Look, it's a less than ideal circumstance. The A's right now, their plan is to be here through the end of the 2027 season before moving to Las Vegas. But the folks here in Sacramento have worked really hard, and as far as the last 3 days have gone, it's been a pretty successful experience, especially if the Braves can lock up this win.
We'll like this place a lot more if you end up winning the series.
I mean, even the 1, 2, 3 innings for A's pitching have been long. 20th pitch of the outing for Newcomb. And now a visit coming here from Austin Wynns. Let's pause for a quick message from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
And Matt Olson draws a walk. Well, all 4 runs the Braves have scored tonight have come with 2 outs. Maybe a little more 2-out magic coming here in the 8th. But if the Braves will get it, it'll be off Michael Kelly, the right-hander for the A's, is coming in.
Really quite clever.
plucked Michael Kelly from the A's bullpen to face Austin Riley here with 2 down in the 8th. And a potential insurance run at first. And Kelly's first pitch is on the outside corner.
So this will be the 12th game of the season. 12 innings for him. He's only allowed 1 run. It came on a home run. However, the walks have been an issue. 7 of those in the 11 games and 12 innings for Michael Kelly.
Keep in mind that 1 home run he allowed was the ball to Soderstrom that hit him in the glove, and he punched over. So
he hasn't had one clear the wall on its own just yet?
Not yet. Maybe Austin Riley can be the guy.
And not to be confused with Michael Kelly, the actor who's a diehard Rays fan and will be participating in the softball game, the celebrity softball game during all the festivities coming up at Truist.
Riley drives it deep to right center, but Clark is underneath it just shy of the track, and that'll end the 8th. Braves will protect a 1-run lead.
Get in for a Friday night showdown.
So bottom of the 8th, Dylan Lee remains in the game for Atlanta and fires a first pitch strike to Nick Kurtz. So, CJ, you've got Kurtz, Andujar, and Soderstrom coming up. That's left, right, left.
And right in the middle of the lineup, and Dylan Lee tasked with getting the middle of this lineup out and keeping this score right where it is. And it goes back to what we talk about sometimes when you make your bullpen decisions in high leverage. And Dylan Lee has been your best reliever. He's been excellent. So it works out well, in my opinion, that he is in at this time of the lineup trying to keep this game close.
He's ahead on Kurtz 1 and 2, just in case Daysbel Hernandez is warming in the pen. Only batter Lee faced last night was Kurtz, and he struck him out. The 1-2. Nick Kurtz played in just 33 minor league games. He's playing in his 55th big league game tonight. First round pick last summer. 2-2. High fly ball to left. Profar turning tail. Looks up. And Nick Kurtz has tied it. An opposite field blast. And that is the first home run Dylan Lee has allowed since late May.
in this tie game, who has also been excellent coming out of this Braves bullpen.
Hard hit grounder, but right to Ozzie. And there's the first out.
And I got to tell you, you're going to go back and you're going to watch a pitch and you're going to wonder about selection and location, but it really wasn't a bad one. It was an elevated fastball that we saw from Dylan Lee that was up above the strike zone. And you don't like doing it, but you got to tip your cap once in a while when you see a guy go up above the zone against 95 miles an hour and hits it.
There are Days Bell's numbers. Strikeout percentage beginning to creep up a little bit. It was a little lower than we expected earlier in the season, but he was still getting outs. And now Tyler Soderstrom is responsible for the other 3 runs the A's have scored with his 3-run homer in the first. You can see he's had a good series, 5 for 9. Did I hit him? No.
Close, but it did not get him. Just kind of took a weird bounce on this slider as it kicked back the other way.
And on a fist, a slow roller this time to Ozzie's got plenty of time.
Somebody better tell Dave. He started walking off the field. That's only 2 outs.
Well, it's only fitting, right? We had the blowout on Tuesday, 10-1 A's. Last night, 9-2 Braves. Tonight is tight. And Max Muncy, who's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Big swing and a miss on that fastball at 99.
It's a good pitch because he is very aggressive. First pitch, he's aggressive overall as far as swinging. The contact down a little bit for him, but he lets it fly.
Out in front of that one. There have now been 30 runs scored in this series. All but 4 have come across on a home run.
This ballpark, we knew about it coming in. We knew the struggles on the other side for the A's with their pitching, and so not surprised to see as many home runs as we have.
And down goes Muncy. Daysbel Hernandez retires at 3 many faces from 9 pitches.
Against that heater. All 4 home runs that he has allowed have come against the heater. He does have a really good slider. That has been the dominating pitch for him. But this is a big arm that Sean Murphy is going to be geared up for. No doubt going to be hunting a fastball and looking for one early to try to get a hold of.
You mentioned earlier, Tim Hires was telling us that Murph can be a bit of a gambler in the batter's box, looking for one pitch in one spot early and getting that ace swing off. Let's see if he gets one he likes here. He liked it. A fastball at 102. And Miller really is an incredible story. Looks like Sean's going to need a new bat, but out of high school, he went to Waynesburg, a Division III college in Pennsylvania, had an ERA over 7 his first 2 years. Then he was diagnosed with diabetes, and after treating it, he finally found a way to add some weight, and the velocity skyrocketed. He transfers to Gardner-Webb for his 5th year, 3rd-round pick by the A's, and now he's got the biggest fastball in Major League Baseball.
And that's what makes it tough. Look at the difference there, 102 to 88. That's actually a pretty good job by Sean Murphy to even foul that slider off. We talk about big-time differential and pitches that he uses in 2 parts of the zone. He likes to elevate the fastball. He wants that slider down.
The 1-2 to Murph. 104. So Murph is down. Here comes Jurickson Profar. He is our Xfinity game changer. Game-tied home run in the 4th. Jurickson have a little more magic. That slider, it is really hard to cover both those pitches.
It is, and that's why you figure out picking one part of the plate that you're probably going to go after until you get to 2 strikes as a hitter. All 4 home runs that Mason Miller has allowed this year have been to left-handed hitters.
A piece of that slider. And now Profar is going to step out as he asks for time. Braves looking to win the series in Sacramento. Begin their final road trip of the first half. Miller's 1-2. Fastball at 104. Two. And a grounder back to the mound. Miller underhand. There's 2 away here in the 9th. So now Marcell Ozuna. 0 for 3 tonight. Homered last night. Can't connect there. Raisel Iglesias is warming in the pen for the Braves when we get to the bottom of the 9th.
So far, a couple of heaters where he is working Marcell away. We have seen a lot of righties try to run the ball in on his hands, elevate, but so far it seems like they're shooting down and away with this heater.
Down and away again. You think Marcel's adjusted his sights by this time?
Maybe. I mean, he doesn't want to get beat in something that's going to get pulled. I get it. He's had the issue with the homer, but again, it's only been against the lefties. As you can see, some incredible numbers for Mason Miller with those 215 pitches up above 100 miles an hour.
2-1 is hit high in the air, but not deep enough. Soderstrom underneath it, and he's got it. Braves go down 1-2-3 in the top of the ninth, trying to force extra.
That he's been filling up the strike zone, and as you mentioned, over these last 11, we've seen the old Raisel Iglesias.
It will be the bottom of the order for the A's in the bottom of the ninth. A fly ball lifted out to right. Acuna jogging over, and he's caught it just across the line. There's not a lot of foul territory to slow yourself down. We talked about at the start of this series, those fly balls down the right field line, they can be deceiving.
They certainly can be, and for Ronald, being very careful, does a nice job of breaking it down, but still giving him enough room to make this catch as he goes up against that right field wall in foul territory.
So one away, and here is Zach Geloff, who has seen Raisel twice before. Comes unglued on the first pitch. Need a chin strap. Geloff 1 for 2 off Iglesias with the double. He's behind 0-2.
And it's 3 straight two-seam fastballs here. The sinker from Raisel Iglesias. Not a bad idea in this ballpark. That is the pitch that he keeps on the ground the most. Of course, his changeup is his best strikeout pitch.
There's a ground ball. Backhand chance for Allen. Throw on the run. It's a strike. That is a clutch play there from Nick Allen.
That certainly was. And what he does so well, besides the range, the footwork, talk about it all the time, the exchange. How quick he is and how accurate these throws are. Watch Nick Allen get around this baseball, good jump on it, backhand, and that throw again on the money. Once again there from Nick Allen.
So Iggy's gotten the first 2. It'll be Shea Langoliers pinch hitting. He replaces Denzel Clark in the 9th spot. Langoliers, we've mentioned a couple of times, he was one of the pieces that went back to Oakland in that Matt Olson trade. He's ahead in the count. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Iggy challenged him there.
Yeah, and a little bit of the arm angle drop, so that helps that fastball because that was the 4-seamer, so it'll stay up and it'll stay true for Raisel.
Raises the bar a little bit. 2-2. think he goes up there again?
It's 4 straight fastballs. That elevated fastball looked like it might have been a mistake, but what it does is it sets up the changeup really nicely if you want to go near the bottom of the zone and maybe perhaps the slider as well, though we haven't seen as many from Rysel lately.
Iggy trying to get us to the 10th. 2-2. He got him! Rysel Iglesias mows him down to the 9th, and we are destined for extra innings. Schumann will replace Austin Wynns, and Schumann takes over center field for Denzel Clark. So that, with all due respect to Max Schumann, is a downgrade. Eli White has come on to pinch run for Atlanta in the spot of Marcell Ozuna, and a first pitch strike on Ozzie Albies.
His Turner actually does have those backward splits that we talked about. He has been excellent again against left-handed hitters, not so much against the righties.
Ozzie quickly down 0-2. There you see the extra inning wins this year for Atlanta. Looking for their 7th, their 10th try. Oh, 2. You know, CJ, you share those reverse splits. Somebody at home might think, well, why doesn't Ozzie just bat from the right side?
Not comfortable doing it, for sure. I think we've talked about this before, especially when he was going through the injury last year and seeing some of it.
He's down on strikes.
The center fielder, number 23, Michael Harris, the 7th.
And now Michael Harris is 0 for 3 tonight, but to tie up that point on Ozzie, you know, yes, he bats from the right side, but not against right-handed pitching, so it would look a lot different.
I don't think it's a comfortable at bat, quite honestly. Forced to do it last year, and he did it. But still feeling much better when he's looking out at a right-handed pitcher and hitting from the left side.
Drake Baldwin's in the on-deck circle, looking to step in for Nick Allen.
Don't be fooled by that warm-up swing. He's not going to get up there right-handed.
There you see the splits.
I mean, look at the OPS difference. That is significant.
1-1 to Michael. He fouls it off. It's a tough pitch for a lefty, that cutter in.
When you locate it well, yes, no doubt. And that's where you want it as a righty. It's on the black and off the plate.
Eli White still at second base. 1-2. And Michael's down on strikes. And with Drake Baldwin being announced as the pinch hitter, it'll be a visit. Justin Sterner to learn a little bit more about Drake Baldwin, and they can figure out exactly how they want to attack him.
A really good job. This will be now his 14th plate appearance as a pinch hitter. A couple of hits so far and 3 RBIs for Drake Baldwin in the pinch hitter role.
A home run last night for Atlanta, trying to come off the bench and give the Braves the lead. What a well-located fastball down and in. Good wood to it, just a little late, 0-2. For the A's in the bottom of the 10th, they will have the top of their order up. Sterner trying to throw up a critical 0 here in the top of the 10th.
But Eli White not holding him over at second. He easily takes third base.
That's a little more pressure there on Shea Langoliers.
Yeah, when you break a ball, you try to throw in the dirt.
The 1-2 is spoiled foul.
The other part of that, because Drake Baldwin is up and uses the opposite field so well, is that you have your third baseman way off the line. So Eli can get a really big lead. Any ball in the dirt that he feels like he has a chance to score on, those good wheels will be on the move.
1-2. Ooh. Drake has to shuffle out of the way. Another part of this equation, CJ, Shea Langoliers has 6 passed balls this year. That leads the American League.
Yeah, he has struggled certainly defensively. A lot of that has to do with what pitcher is in the game in that moment.
2-2.
And we use that blocking above average number. For him, he's at an even 0 this year, but for his career, he's a minus 41. So not only the pass balls, but there have been some issues blocking balls in the dirt.
So far, Drake Baldwin finding a way to fight up there. 2-2. Ends off another one. I feel like that's one thing we've learned about Drake is he can foul off pitchers' pitches and 2-strike counts as well as anyone.
And so far in this at-bat, it seems like they're trying to crowd Drake Baldwin as much as possible. Everything has pretty much been inside and off the plate.
Another 2-2 pitch. There is the block from Langoliers. Ronald Acuna Jr. on deck. Can't afford to give in, especially with those splits. 3-2. A broken bat fly ball. Soderstrom towards the alley. He's got it. And Justin Sterner throws up a 0 in the top of the 10th. Lawrence Butler. It's his birthday tonight. It is also his bobblehead night. First pitch from Pierce. It's a curveball over for a strike. Shea Langoliers, the catcher, is at second. Keep that in mind. You can't pinch run for Langoliers because he was the second catcher, and now a bit of confusion. The 0-1 to Butler. Big swing and a miss on the curveball, 0-2. What's kind of the mindset for Pierce right now, knowing the margin is so thin?
Yeah, I mean, I think you try elevated fastball maybe for the swing and miss right now, trying to keep that ground ball from the right side or to the right side from happening to get the runner over.
Gives Langoliers a look. Nice job of staying alive by Lawrence Butler. Butler out of Westlake High School in Atlanta. Last couple of days been the first time he's ever had a chance to face the Braves. Oh, 2.
Big time block from Sean Murphy. We talk about it often. He has been excellent, but that keeps Langoliers at second base.
Johnson comes with the 1-2. Now, how aggressive are you with Butler? Because it is a tie game. His run, quote-unquote, does not matter.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I think you continue to go for the strikeout. You're not necessarily going to give in. But it is also the middle of the order that you're going to have to face after Butler.
Strike 3 called. Butler doesn't like it. Marcotte arguing. But no birthday present for Lawrence Butler from Chris Guccione. A huge strikeout from Pierce Johnson.
Four-seam fastball with some good movement. Watch this baseball come back a little bit, almost like a two-seamer. And there is Sean Murphy doing an excellent job making sure that pitch looked like a strike.
Well, a birthday temper tantrum. Here's Brent Rooker. One of 2 All-Stars in the lineup, 4 are on the A's roster, but the only one in the lineup tonight.
About how quiet it got right before that pitch was thrown. Of course, it's a smaller ballpark. It holds 12,000. They average about a little bit better than 9,000, but it went dead silent right before Pierce Johnson threw that pitch.
Might happen again. Oh, what a pick by Sean Murphy behind the plate. Massive play.
These are so hard. You get the breaking ball that's moving away from you. Remember, Pierce Johnson's curveball is harder than any other curveball in baseball, so this thing is going to skip with that high spin, and that is excellent work from Sean Murphy.
CJ, that is huge. 2-1. Oh, he went. Yeah, no need for an appeal. 2-2 on Rooker.
Yeah, not even close. And that's that nasty breaking ball, even when you're ahead in the count. So tough to lay off of.
Just fought it off. Went fastball on the outside corner.
Done a good job locating that fastball away so far, or at least to the glove side for Pierce Johnson, the way he finished off Butler, and that one right there to Rooker.
And Pierce really has been on a phenomenal run over the last month. Can he find a way to force an 11th? Got to get Rooker first. The 2-2. Liner smoked right to Williams. There's one. Throw to second. There's two. A line-out double play. And we're going to the 11th inning. The A's will not challenge. Luke Williams, the ball will find you. Luke Williams is at second base, and Ronald Acuna Jr. is leading off here in the 11th against Justin Sterner. Misses high, ball one. Sterner on for a second inning. He worked 2 innings on Tuesday. But Acuna was not in the lineup that night. 1-0, a soft liner. Gelof's got it. Williams hustling back to second.
Number 20, Matt Olson.
So far, CJ, neither team's been able to move that runner to third with less than 2 outs. Yeah.
And that's big, right? It's really important. You're giving that runner, trying to get him over early if you can. Now, this part of the lineup is just trying to drive him in. But the previous inning, yes, I think with the lefties up. Oh, my.
Man, Olson. That might land in the Sacramento River. He yanked it right over the Solon Club.
StatCast says that went 384 feet. I'm not sure how they get a distance on that, but that looked like me off the first tee.
Your first drive or the breakfast ball?
That's the first one. The second one I dribble right in front.
Okay, there we go. Oh, 1 to Olson. 0-2. Olson did face Sterner on Tuesday night. Sterner struck him out. The 0-2. Mentioned the Braves this year. This is their 10th extra inning game, 6-3. Count back even.
And you feel like even though you're on the road in extra innings and the odds are against you with that automatic runner, this bullpen has struggled with the Athletics coming into today. 5.66 ERA, second worst in baseball.
No bullpen has a higher walk rate. Two-two. Popped up, out of play. And thanks to Ozzie Albies' home run back in the 7th, the A's have now given up more home runs at their home ballpark than any other staff at their home ballpark in Major League Baseball. We get one more of those before we skip town. Matt Olson drives it deep, left center, and at the wall, it's Soderstrom making the catch. Williams will tag from second and move up to third. Oh, Matt, just a touch underneath it.
Thought you called it, Wiley. Center field gap. Continued to carry, but not quite enough. Good base running by Luke Williams to make sure he got back to second base to tag.
Now Austin Riley in a big spot. Ground ball off the glove. Geloff, does he have time? Yes. Oh, thought that was going to be the carom that went the Braves' way. Instead, we go to the bottom. Dylan Lee to tie the game at 4. This Braves bullpen has been so good. We talked about it earlier this week, but the second best ERA in all of baseball this season from the Braves pen. One. There's a call, strike 1 and 2.
Yeah, interesting to see him right now against the lefties for Kurtz and taking some pitches. Pretty aggressive hitter. He has had his struggles against left-handers, hitting just 170.
Take your part, 7th best ERA in baseball this year. The second best ERA in the last 20 games or so. 2 and 2 on Kurtz. And he got him. Perfectly located curveball, and Kurtz is down on strikes.
Well done here by Aaron Bummer, taking advantage of the left-on-left matchup. And Brian Snicker has decided he's not going to mess around with Brett Rooker. They go ahead and issue that intentional walk. And this is where you're looking for that ground ball. Something that Aaron Bummer does so well. Oh, I'm sorry, I say Rooker.
Miguel and Andujar at first. Rooker, the runner at second. And a liner into right center field. Around comes Rooker from third. Michaels throw to the plate. Not in time, and the A's walk it off. Tyler Soderstrom, a monster series, and he ends it with a walk-off knock.
Well, 3 of the 5 plate appearances for Tyler Soderstrom, where he goes hacking early at the first pitch, and he got one that he could handle with an elevated curveball that unfortunately ends up costing the break.